Let's say, I'm a SaaS company or other organization that already has a SOC 2 and or ISO 27001, and they just signed up with Drata and they want to start implementing ISO 42001. Can you walk us through how the platform is set up and what are the first steps that someone needs to do?
Yeah, so once you have this activated in your tenant, it would flip on if you have multiple workspaces, you need to assign it to a workspace. So that'd be over in settings, workspaces, and you can assign the framework here to make sure it's there. But once you're in and going, because you've done a lot of the work already, you'll start seeing a number of inputs being added in. So ultimately, some extra controls and policies are going to be flipped on. You've done a lot of the work already. If you have SOC 2 or ISO 27001 inside of Drata, and this carries over, a lot of the AI pieces are going to be policy driven. So you can see AI, like these are examples of ones that might pop in. So AI data management here, this would come in, and then you'll see you need to put some other pieces and get some evidence in place. And then you jump over to like policies itself, governance, you'll see some new AI policies that get put in place as well. So AI governance policy, for instance, here, AI risk management policy. So these will all be added in. So you'll see a few gaps from the new policies that we're adding in that you probably don't have in place. If you do have existing policies that maybe don't match that you're already doing ad hoc, we can also use AI to help match those with controls as well. So new controls, new policies, pretty straightforward. Yeah, so there'll be it depends on like the configuration of 27001 or SOC 2. I think like the back of the envelope number would be, so if you can even see if you have a tenant over here, you can see some of the crossover as well. So I can see 27001 over here, and you're 27% implemented. And then if I want to do 42001, I think it's a little less than half of the controls for 42001 are already in 27001. And then a lot of the additional ones are going to be like policy-driven ones. So very straightforward, not going into and doing like tedious remediation.
Okay. So in this example, is this assumption that the customer for this demo environment is SOC 2 compliant 100%?
Yeah, and if you're going to be 100%, you'll definitely be a lot of the way through when you flip it on. At least like halfway, yeah. And like the ones that you need to fill in aren't going to be a lot less of a lift than something like remediating infrastructure pieces. A lot of policies you need to add.
Okay, understood. So this demo environment, it's not 100% SOC 2 yet.
Right. This is let's say in a state where I'm implemented, I'm starting to figure it out, maybe a month in.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. So the actual overlap is actually more than what you're seeing on the screen, basically. Yeah, which makes sense because basically 42001 it's an AI management framework, but uses 27001 controls as a baseline, right? And we just layer in. Okay, that's great. And we can see on the screen how easily Drata is making that mapping happen. So the controls that pop up when you turn on a new framework, is it easy to distinguish to see which are the ones that are like new versus existing?
Yeah, so you can over here on the frameworks tab, you can select which frameworks controls you want to show. So if you had several in here, or we have a lot here, I can select these are the ones that are going to be 27001, 42001. If I drop the 27001, then these are just ones only for 40001, and I can see which ones they do sync with. So a lot of these are very AI specific. Some of these are going to be for all of these. This one will be for 27001 SOC 2.
Okay.
These ones down here.
Pretty common. I see. So you can just filter out by the framework. Okay.
And then they'll all be not ready at that point because you're gonna have to take some action on them. Some of them, the new ones would all be not ready because you have to add in new policies and whatnot. So reasonably, the ones that are ready will be the ones that are from the one you already have.
Yeah, makes sense. So you don't have to upload the new evidence or do any new integrations if it's already green. Get to reuse your work.
Yeah. So what you do here is you select a framework you want, pick monitoring. So that's 12 of the 56 ones are going to have some automation intact for it by default. So that's like the general like automation. Again, this is a policy driven one, really. Something interesting too is like we do have a test library. So if you want to like bring in more tests, for instance, for infrastructure that are related to the 42001, you can come in here, see which ones are essential. These are kind of AI generated policies that we work with auditors on. You can bring those in. So if you want to add more tests for using certain services, then we can bring those also in. So you can add in some more automation as well.
Yeah, okay. So there's over 1,200 test libraries ready to go. So if I find a test in the library that I generally like, but maybe I'm using a different parameter, maybe log collection, duration is different than what's in the policy. Is it easy to adjust that?
Yeah, and like so we do have, you can make adjustments. We also have custom tests. So if you want to bring that over, you can customize any of the tests that you have. So that's
Okay.
actually another really cool one, I think, is another really good use case for testing, is to create your own test, pick out the provider that you want. So AWS example, and then you can create your own like parameters as well. So infrastructure, AWS, condition groups. So take all the things that you would get and then make your own custom test. So a really good way to also go ahead and customize.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so it gives you that full control.